Hey there, and welcome to the long awaited video for my art studio and art studio setup. I'm gonna show you how I set everything up from moving, building furniture, and then give you a small tour at the end. Let's get right into it because I've got a lot to share. So here you can see the old space and my desk and how I took everything apart and started to pack everything up. This is my old art space that was in our old apartment before we moved into the new one. And it was just a corner in the living room, and I've already done an art space tour about that in case you're interested in that. And you can see here that the kitchen was right there, so there's a few kitchen things. And yeah, it was all a mess, and moving is chaos and always so exhausting. However often you've moved before, it's still exhausting anyways. And here you can see that it was still winter and it was snowing, which baffles my mind how long I've been working on this video, that it was winter when I started and now it's the end of June. So here you can see, unfortunately, I had to paint over my mural on the wall, but here's my art studio. So the sadness was short-lived because this is such a beautiful space and I was so excited to fill this space. This shelf has been taken apart and built again so many times. Unfortunately, we had to take it apart to move it, but here you can see that those, I have no idea what they're called in English, but those wooden things that go inside it, they broke off when we took it apart, and so we had to screw in there and it was all a mess. And the shelf is now a little bit wobbly, not gonna lie, because I think it's been taken apart 4 times, which is not ideal for an Ikea shelf, but it's okay, and it's not falling apart and it works the way it does. So here we're setting everything up. And by the way, I was setting up so many things for the studio that I later on changed again a little bit. So this area you can see here now looks a little bit differently, as you're gonna see in the end, but I still have those shelves in the art studio, and I was just putting the first things in there. And I think that's always the most fun part about moving, to actually then put things in the shelves and decorate and start doing those things and not having to build stuff all the time or carry it from one place to the other. So I really enjoyed those small little things and yeah, just putting things back where they belong. And when you're moving, there's no chance to have everything perfectly together. At least I can't do that. And we tried to just put art stuff in one box and then put kitchen stuff in another box and label all the boxes, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really work out like that, and you just have to get organized again after moving. So this is happening here, setting everything up and starting to decorate, actually, which is something that I love to do. I love decorating, and especially I had such a blast decorating this art studio and putting all my favorite things in here. And it's mostly finished now. I think there's a few small little details that I'm still working on and still doing, but it looks almost finished now. And here's what it looked like at that point, and it was all a mess, obviously, as it always is when you're moving. And then I started to paint a little mural on this wall as well, because it always helps to do things like that in order to feel fully at home. And I mean, it's sad when you have to cover it up when you move out, but it's worth it for me, honestly, because I spend so much time where I live and I spend so much time now in this office, and having something that I've created myself and that I put so much love into it, it just makes it feel so much more like my own space. And I didn't want to paint the walls different colors in here. I wanted everything to be like a white canvas that I can put stuff on, colorful things on. And so painting this little mural was really nice thing to do. And now we're putting up a shelf, and my girlfriend helped me a lot with that, and I continued painting the mural. And that mural took a while. It took a lot of steps and back and forth, but I think it might have been quicker than the one in the last apartment, because the one in the last apartment was a lot bigger. And yeah, I'm so happy with the space again, because I put so many things in there that I love, and it's colorful, and this is a cute scene, so I included it here. And then we were done with the shelf. And by the way, this shelf is a part of the tabletop that I was sent by Stettler, who I collaborated with, and they sent me a tabletop to create a course for them. And this video is not sponsored by them, but I just wanted to tell you that I used part of that table for this shelf. I was reusing everything. I'm still using the tabletop, and just this part where their logo was on, it's now a shelf, and it's fantastic because it fits together with my desk, and I really love the way that shelf looks. And beneath it I have some pictures, and I can swap them out, so there's different things on there at different times. And then I continued with the mural, painting leaves, and this is gonna be a lemon tree. And I was going back and forth with my idea, because I wanted a lemon tree, I wanted more than one. I wanted multiple lemon trees at the beginning, and I also wanted oranges, and I also wanted flowers. So I wanted a lot of things, and at the end of the day I decided, hey, this is too much and it looks too much. So I painted a lot of things on the wall that I then covered up again. But I'm happy that I did, because I didn't want too much on there, didn't want to overwhelm myself. And you're gonna see some stuff that I covered up later as well. I painted a lot of yellow circles that aren't there anymore now, and I was really impressed by the paint, the wall paint, because it only took 2 coats, I think, and then it was completely gone. So if you're planning on doing a mural in your apartment, I mean, obviously talk to the landlord if you're renting, if that could potentially be a problem, but you can cover it up easily. And if you just have to give the apartment back with white walls, and they don't care if you've painted on them, which they shouldn't. I don't know why some people care about that. I mean, who cares if there's 1 more white layer or 2 more white layers on there? So as long as you can paint the walls, then go ahead and do it, because it makes a space look so much more personal and makes it your own. And yeah, it's hard to cover it up, but it's not that bad, and it's worth it. And you can take pictures of your wall when you move out, and then you have that forever. I have so many pictures with the old mural in the background where I'm standing in front of it, or where I filmed with that background, and it's always gonna be something that exists because I have documented it. And so I really love doing this. And here you can see the snow on the skylights. Yes, it was winter when I started all of this. And here's the next day, and I'm starting to paint the circles that I mentioned earlier that I covered up again. And I'm just using acrylic paint for this, and I actually used craft acrylic paint. So don't use any high-end colors for murals, because you're gonna need a lot of paint. And if you're painting on multiple days, it might also be hard to keep all of your paint wet all the time. You might have a keep wet palette, but I didn't have the best experiences with those so far, so I don't really use that. I wrapped everything in what's that called, this plastic wrap. I wrapped everything in that, and it helped a little bit. But then there were like 1.5 weeks where I didn't paint, and so obviously it was dry, so I had to mix the colors again. And here you can see that I set up the tripod for my camera to film overhead, and I have a bag of rocks so that the camera doesn't trip over. And it is a professional tripod, but I still need that bag of rocks. And if you look closely, you'll also see in the last clip you saw the screws that went through the tabletop because the screws were too long and I didn't check. But yeah, it is what it is now. It can't all be perfect. And yeah, I'm starting to shade the lemons, and that I did something else, unpacked something, and that I went back to the lemons. So it was all back and forth here, doing lots of things at once. And yeah, it's all coming together very slowly. This was a process of months. We started to move in at the beginning of April, and now it's the end of June that I'm recording this, and now I'm almost done. So this takes a while, and I really worked on this. It could have taken even longer, but I knew I wanted to create a video about this. Now you can see the thing that I unwrapped earlier. I don't know what I did with that footage, why it's so whatever, but here you can see us setting up a little shelf here as well, and I think it's very useful. And that shelf on the left, while it is really cute, it's in a different spot now because I changed it up all. And here's an unboxing of something that I've been sent for my studio. This is by a company called Rico Design. They sell a lot of crafty things, decor stuff, and I just picked a few things that would go well and look nice in my studio. And I put up all of my brushes into these little containers, and then I got a carpet finally because I was waiting for that for a while. And I'm really happy with that carpet, and I'm very happy with the way that the carpet looks. So here's another update. This is what the carpet looks like now. And this is an overview. Obviously it's still very messy. And now we're unboxing the next thing. And this is a little stool, whatever you want to call that I first bought, and I thought that would be enough to sit on in my studio, and I put it there. Thought it would be a cute corner and to sit on this, but then I realized it's not ideal because of the wall, and I tried to decorate it and it looked cute, but it was small. So I got a chair as well, and you'll see that later on. And here we're building a shelf, and this shelf, if you get this from Ikea, this shelf, be super careful building it because we ruined one of these, because it will trip over if it's not secured. It will trip over and it's gonna be broken. So we had two of those actually, and the one that we tried building in the living room, yeah, we screwed that up, and you have to be super careful with this shelf is all that I'm saying. And now I'm putting stuff into the shelf, and it's so amazing because it fits all my canvases and all of my technical stuff, and it fits so many things, and I'm so happy with this and having so much space for my stuff. And I'm low-key considering painting it at one point, maybe. But I don't want to dismantle it again, so it's probably not going to be painted. But it would look cute in a different color. And here we have the chair now, and we're building that one. And I love that chair. I'm so happy with it, and I'm so happy with the area that it is in right now. At first, I did not know where to put it because everything was set up at that point. Then I started to move things around again. Yeah, so happy with that chair. And here's where it is now at this point, but then I decided to move that shelf on the left, the white one, I moved it somewhere else, and then it was much better. So here I'm covering up part of the mural. I didn't really include the painting process of that because what's the point if I cover it up anyways? And here you can see it. Here's where the shelf is now, and this is amazing because it fits my printer. And here I have more space for the chair now. It's this cute little sitting area, and it's just perfect, and it just all fits. So here it is. Here's the finished art studio and the way that it looks like now. I have those pin boards and the shelves, a second little craft table with some decor above it and some plants there. I have those blinders, I don't know what they're called, which is amazing to have, and a little plant, my guitar. Here's the desk area, my chair, and this little shelf with another plant. Obviously I have a lot of plants. I have so many more plants in the rest of the apartment. Some backgrounds for pictures that are rolled up in the corner over there. Some stuffed animals that I have here, just stuff, backpacks, a dollhouse kit that I started building, lots of decor on the wall, yeah, sentimental stuff, cute stuff, things from other artists, a lot of markers and pens, and I just love it. It's my favorite place probably now, and I just have so many colorful things here. It makes me so happy, and I just needed this space to create because now I'm working from home 4 or 5 days a week, and I really need an office like this. And here's what the shelf looks like now. It's not perfectly organized, but I did tidy the studio a little bit for this video. It's not always that tidy because in between projects it gets super messy, so people always point out how tidy my space is. Obviously I clean it up before I film a video, even though it's not perfect and it's not completely finished yet. That little battery from the fairy lights is a little bit bothering to me on the wall, but it's no big deal. And this little mini desk there with some pens. My girlfriend likes to sit there. I love the things on the wall, and I'm still building up that, and will probably pin more things to that wall. And my books are organized by color because that's the way I love it. And yeah, there's little sentimental things in this space. Obviously that's what you do to make it a home. And yeah, I'm so happy with this. I can't repeat that often enough. And some of those drawers are still empty, so I still have space for all my stuff, and it's just so amazing to finally have that much space. And it's a dream come true, honestly, to have an office like this, an art studio, a space just for my creativity. It's honestly a dream come true, and I couldn't be more grateful for this. And yeah, I've been working towards this for years. I'm so glad it finally came together. That's the final look at the studio. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did so, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye!